How's it going, everyone? David from dodmedia. Today we're talking about this. That's an EASIFRAME. It's a collapsible curved backdrop which is modular, expandable, and for which you can order custom skins so that you can have any backdrop of your liking on a curved cyc. Now, EASIFRAME kindly provided me with the frame itself and a black and white skin, and then I paid for an extra skin to be printed, custom one, which I wanted for my shoots. This is the extended frame, which adds about 2 feet roughly. So 2 feet wide, 2 feet deep, 2 feet high. Oh, hey there. Just grab my measuring tape. So if we measure from one side to the other, we've got bang on 3 meters. Then running from pretty much the back of the curve to here, we have, let's say roughly about 2 meters 40. 2 meters 40. And then finally from the floor up to there. About just over 2 meters 40. So that's 3 meters by 240 by 240. And that is plenty to be able to shoot full body with pretty much anyone. Now, the assembly is very straightforward. I managed to do it on my own, but I am 6'2" with very long arms, so that certainly helped. I would suggest you have a friend to help you if that's possible. So the design is really quite clever. The frame slots together with these little bars that go between each frame bracket. So this frame bracket will connect them, and then there are 4 Allen screws which you simply tighten to keep the frame together. And so the frame, which is segmented into different parts, is very quick to build it and it's very quick to take it down. But once it's up and you have secured all of those Allen screws, it's really sturdy. Now, in addition to what comes in the kit, you are going to need 2 light stands. Now, they don't need to be heavy-duty C-stands like I'm using here, but they do need to have that reach, and you don't want to be extending them to the end of their pole because then they become a little bit wobbly and flimsy. It's a good idea to weigh them down as well if that's possible, because that way nothing's going to move. And in fact, I'm actually planning on putting 2 little baby pins that stick out of that wall directly so that I can mount it straight onto the wall. There's a practical reason for that, and there's another reason for that, which again I'm going to go into very shortly. Now, once the frame is assembled, you can mount the skin of your choice on here because it is custom fit to that exact frame width that you've ordered. If I grab the black skin here, it is literally a question of pulling this one off, slotting this one on, and it assembles in a really clever way. It secures using this sort of rubber strip that is sewn into the fabric all the way along, and you secure it in, you push it down, and because you've custom ordered this, or because you've ordered one to a very specific frame length, it will fit perfectly. It will be taut.
Hold it up and hold it taut, please.
There is also a pattern of assembly that you're meant to follow, so which parts you secure first so that it has its maximum tautness.
Taut? What is that, Old English?
But I ignored that the first time, which confirmed that indeed you should follow the pattern, because then I followed the pattern and it was grand. Now, in terms of keeping it clean, of course, you're going to gradually get footprints and dirt on it. I've got a ton of footprints here. Now, with a solid cyc, you would just typically paint it. And with a paper roll, you would pull off the dirty part, cut it, and then pull down some clean paper roll, and you're good to go. Now, with this, because it's material, you can just stick it in the washing machine, give it a nice wash, come out nice sparkly clean, and then stick it back on the frame. I've shot a number of portraits and headshots using this, and of course, it's different to paper, and it's different to a cyc wall in that this is so smooth that you don't really get any kind of texture through with it, which can be a good thing or a bad thing. But for me personally, the experience I've had with paper rolls is that you get a lovely texture on them, but there is some bumpiness, there is some waviness to it, which isn't always what I want. I much prefer having something that is consistent, even if it's a little bit smoother, even if there's a lack of detail. Now, I did set up the Pocket 3 to shoot some behind the scenes of the last shoot I did because they were happy for me to have some behind the scenes of it. And then I forgot to hit record because I am a single track minded simpleton who was focusing on the shoot, not on the behind the scenes. So apologies for that. But here are some of the photos that I've taken using the EasyFrame. So some of the shortcomings of this. Now earlier I mentioned that I wanted to have this mounted on 2 pins on the wall to be able to push it right up against the wall and stick it on the pins. Now that's not just from a practical perspective of saving space. There's another reason, which is that this is material. And like any material or muslin backdrop that you might have, if you're using strobes and you are lighting in a certain way, you're going to get the light bouncing around and behind it. And that light bouncing behind it is going to illuminate or create shadows behind it, which will then be perceived through the material when you're taking your photo, which is not always, in fact, is never great. And that's the same if you're shooting any fabric backdrop, anything that's not a paper or painted backdrop. You're going to get light spilling through it in both directions unless you flag it off. So that's the main reason why I actually want to move it back against the wall and then just flag off the sides with some black flag, is so that that backdrop remains really consistent. It's just pure white. There's no risk of anything coming through in the background, like in this photo here where you can see there's a little bit of that background, which is the wall itself, where the 2 panels of the wall are just not quite aligned, and so it's creating a shadow. So one area is darker than the other, just because of that light spilling around behind it. So that is something to bear in mind if you're planning on getting this. Think about where you'll be placing it and how you'll be mitigating that light, which could potentially spill around the back of it. Now, I can totally imagine this being really popular for certain events where the client wants the guests to be photographed in full body, with a neutral background, with a color background, with a branded background, and really give a kind of like wow factor to that event that they're hosting. I feel like it always adds a wow factor to see a cyc wall rather than just a paper roll hanging down floppily against the floor. And being able to like assemble it and disassemble it on your own if you have to, really quickly and really easily, that's really fantastic. All right, if you're interested in finding out more about the EasyFrame in all its various shapes and sizes, there are links in I could never say this one. There are links in the description. There are links in the description. Why can't I say that? Let me know how, oh, it's getting sunny. Let me know how you'd use the EasyFrame down below, and let me know how you'd use the EasyFrame in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, hit that like button. Blah. Let me know how you'd use the EasyFrame in the comments down below. And if you like this video, let me know how you'd use the EasyFrame in the comments down below. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.